in 1962, and I have about 50 of them.
Today what we're going to look at is squares.
Squares.
Squares are kind of important. We use them a lot. So what we have here is we have a square with an area of 16. If you like to talk, continue outside. So, if the area is 16, we have 16 squares on the inside. Start by dividing in half and dividing in half again. Okay? So divide in half again. So we have 16 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this area equals 16 squares. So the side length here is 4 squares high, and it's also 4 squares long. And that's kind of how we've developed this idea of squaring and square rooting. So the area of a square is s squared, and so area equals 4 squared. So s represents the side length. And so what we do then is we can say area equals 16. But then we can also work backwards, right? If there's 16 squares, so we can say 16 equals the side length squared. What we do is we do the opposite of squaring. We square root them. What happens is the side length and squared cancels out with the square root, and we're left with s equals square root 16. So the side length equals 4. Okay. Now, we can use that idea to estimate the size of squares. I'll show you how we do that. Okay. I got to go to a new page to do that. Don't be too concerned. You don't need to copy this down. So I'm going to take a square, draw it. Okay, there's a square right there. Good. So let's draw this one as 4 squared. Right? 1, 2, 3. What am I doing here? Well, just, you know what? This is even better. Good. This here is 3 by 3. Okay. You guys are just so... Is that better? More of a square?
That's 24. Go up 1. There you go.
3 by 3?
Yeah.
All right. Pretty smart, Sean. There's 3. So what I'm going to do then is draw 4. So this here length will be 4. And then one more would be
5.
Hey, you guys are pretty good. 5. Okay. So in the red, we have 3 by 3, which is 9. So we can say the square root of 9. I want to start low here, sorry. Square root of 9 equals 3. Good. In green, square root of 4, sorry, square root of 16 equals 4. And then in blue, we can say the square root of 25 equals 5. Okay. So what about something like 10? What does square root of 10 equal? Well, where would that fit in here? Right? It would fit in right there, in between root 9 and root 16. So somewhere like right about here, that's going to be square root of 10. Just a little bit more than 9. Does that not make sense? We have square root 9, which we know is 3. Square root 10 is a little bit bigger. We don't really know what that is. But we know square root 16 is 4, and all you guys are yelling at me, what's the square root of 10? Yeah. Now, we don't use an equal sign because we don't know what it is. We use an approximation sign. So it's approximately 3.3. Maybe 3.2, maybe 3.1. But anything above 3.3, I'd mark wrong. Do you guys just understand what I said? I'll mark an estimation wrong. Because anything above 3.3 is completely wrong. Okay, well, let's do this then. What would be the approximation of, square root of 20? We know what 25 is. What is that? Okay, we know what square root of 16 is. So what do you guys think about 20? Well, how much bigger is 25? 5. And then how much lower is 16? Now, if these two numbers were equal, what would be your guess? Yeah, 4.5. But they're not equal, are they? So what would I mark 4.5 as? Wrong. Absolutely. So this is probably more like 4.4. Okay. Even if your calculator came up 4.5, I would mark it wrong. Because it doesn't look like it when you estimate it. Grade 10's have a lot of trouble with us. Do you guys know that? Crazy, isn't it? What do you want? There's something. He must want something. Say that. Yeah. More playing time? Okay, I'll put you on the field this time. I just kidding, Sean. Okay, you guys okay with this? This is kind of the nuts and bolts for today. Let's go back to our lesson then. So, square trampoline has a side length of 2.6 meters. That's twice. One more. Okay. So side length is 2.6 meters. Estimate and calculate the area. So now we're going in a different direction. We know that 2 gives us an area of 4. We know that 3 gives us an area of 9. So, 2.6. What would that give us an area of?
7.
Yeah, I'd say probably about 6, right? So it's something close to the middle, but a little bit higher. Good. That's how you'd estimate it. Now to calculate it, area equals s squared. Area equals 2.6 squared. Now remember, you people, that's 2.6 times 2.6. It's not times 2. Okay, grab your calculator. Give me a shot. What is it? 6.76. Now that will be meters squared. Okay. Good. Any questions so far? Okay. When you're in doubt, go back to that drawing of the squares. Okay. So, applying this a little bit harder. Now we have 25 and 49. So what you guys should be knowing, or be able to do in your head, know that 1 squared equals 2 squared equals 3 squared equals. What's the next number? What does it equal? Then what? 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 Good. Then what? 14 I don't know. 15? 15? 150?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, so 14 would be in front of 12 squared and 13 squared? Yeah, Sean. Didn't think about that one. Okay. Good. So the more you have those memorized, the way easier it's going to be for grade 10 and grade 9. So be able to come up with those very quickly. Yeah, this is 4 squared, right? 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9. Oh, this is getting boring. Good. Okay, got it. All right, so what we want to do is take the square root of 25 over 49. How do we do that without a calculator? No decimals allowed. Watch this. This is the same thing as square rooting the top and square rooting the bottom of the fraction. So it equals 5 over 7. Right? Because 5 over 7 times 5 over 7, 5 over 7 squared, equals 25 over 49. Okay. So we call this one a perfect square because we can square root it. Now there's this next number. What is that as a fraction? We just did this on our quiz. What is that as a fraction? 4 over 10. So can we square root 4 over 10? Well, that equals square root of 4 over square root of 10. The top one is 2. The bottom one is square root 10. We don't really know it. We can estimate it, right? Yeah, you're going to get a decimal, right? So this is not a perfect square. In fact, we say that number is irrational because 10 is not perfect. It's not a Mr. Barker number. No commentary, Sean? Surprised. Okay, C, is that a perfect square? Can you square root 121 over 16? Why? What's the answer? Root 121 over root 16? Good. Yeah, 11 over 4. It works out. So this here is a perfect square. What about D? Is that a perfect square?
No.
Why not?
There's a decimal.
Decimal's no problem. It'd be 12 over 10. And lots of you are saying, oh, I remember this earlier. Root 12, root 10. It's not perfect. NP, not perfect. Okay. Well, the next one, try it. Convert it to a fraction. See if you can square root them. Okay, so this is going to be 9 over 100. The top's a perfect square, so is the bottom. Right, that equals 3 over 10. Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the middle. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we have to estimate the number that has the given square root. Okay, so if we know it, 5 squared equals 25, 6 squared equals 36. What about 5.2? Probably approximately maybe 28, 30, something like that. Okay. 0.39. Well, 0.36. Oh, sorry. 1 squared equals 1. 2 squared equals 4. So this is approximately what? Yeah. I mean 0.7 or something. It's less than 1. Right? Less than 1. Next one, 10.8. Okay, so 9 squared equals what? Sorry, 10 squared equals 11 squared, 100, 121. So this one's got to be, yeah, maybe 101, because it's a decimal, right? Like it's not even 11, right? So 10.8. That's close to 11. I screwed that up. 117. Someone said I like that one. I don't like it. It's too low. Too low. Like 10.8 is pretty close, right, to 11.
How is 118 low? That's higher than 117.
Oh, I thought you said 114. Okay. Hey, don't have to freak out because I didn't hear him. Settle down. Yeah, exactly. Take your advice. Okay, next one. So now I have to calculate the side length of the square. So now we have the square. We're going backwards. So A equals S squared. Substitute in 236 equals S squared. Then we want to square root it. Both sides. Okay. And so then we have S by itself equals root 236. And you can go to your calculator, figure out the value of S. Make sure you know how to use the square root button on your calculator. Everyone try this, please. 15.36. So, some people are going to do this. Square root button, 236 equals, and that's if you actually see that sign on your screen. Otherwise, you're just going to go 236 square root button, and you don't have to press equals. Okay, so if you press the square root button and you see it on your screen, you do the top method. Everyone try this on the calculator. Any issues? Error 1, that's something you put in a negative.
When I put it in, it says quit.
It says quit?
I put it in first though.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to.
Bring here real quick.
He always tells me every day he has no lunch because he doesn't get it.
Okay, we're almost done here, folks. 0.36. Try that one on the calculator. 0.36. Let's go. Try on the calculator, please. Okay, 0.6. Good. Now, this next part is what we were doing earlier. We have 20. We have 20 squares. That's what it means. So what is a perfect square above it? 20. Well, what's a perfect square below it?
25.
So, okay, so it means that's 16. Good. So there's 20. And then the next one would be 25. So we want to write it down as this. Square root 16, square root 25. Now we know this is 4, we know this is 5. So whereabout is that? No calculators. Cheater.
I'm not saying it though.
Cheater. Probably 4.4. Good.
I'm sorry, Kev.
And that's because this here is 4 away, and this is 5 away. Okay, try the next one by yourself. Go.
With the calculator, no.
Make sure you don't put an equal sign for 4.4 because it's not equal, it's approximately. Try the next one. Okay, so what's perfect square below or above? Where do you guys want to start? Okay, so now say you got this one, guys. Say you got 49 equals 7, and you're not sure what the square is. Well, what's 1 above 7? See, you can work backwards. Right? You got 7, go to 8, and then you know this is 64. So my question is, how close is 64 and 56? 8? And how close is it to 49? 7. So where should we be? 7.4. Good. Hey, go ahead while I'm interrupting and go put your apple in the garbage. Your half-eaten apple. What is that? Half-eaten apple. Too much for you? Holy cow. Plus, I'm teaching. Just saying. Okay. Any questions?